Today, about 3 months into the year, the city of Madison experienced our first homicide. Today we had a shooting that occurred outside the 200 block of South Carroll Street. Our victim is in his 30s, who was walking on Carroll Street when he was shot multiple times. Officers who were close to the area gave immediate aid, and he was transported to a local area hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. Thanks to the quick response of the officers, persons of interest in this particular crime was located near Rimrock Road and John Nolan. Those persons are currently being interviewed now by police detectives. We're still actively working to determine if this was a targeted incident. However, at this time, we have not determined a motive for this particular crime. The shooting happened in a very public area, right outside the Dane County Jail, across from the City County building. Many employees were still inside the building at the time of this incident. We had officers who heard the gunshots, and as I stated before, was able to provide aid to the victim. City employees were notified, and we have increased patrols at this time. I want our public to expect that South Carroll Street, just behind me, will be closed for several more hours as we are collecting evidence and doing this investigation. We're asking the public if you could find alternate routes if you're in this area, if you live or work around here. If anyone has any information about this crime, we're asked that you call Madison Area Crime Stoppers. The number is 608-266-6014, 608-266-6014. The name of the victim will be released per protocol by the medical examiner. Our thoughts and my prayers go out to the victim and his family members as well. Their life was forever changed today by an act of gun violence, which is totally acceptable in our community. If there are any questions, we'll try to answer those now.
Chief, you referred to people. I want to know how many as persons of interest. Are they suspects or persons of interest?
At this time, they're persons of interest. We have 2 in custody. We're trying to determine if there was an involvement in there. We will update this case tomorrow once we know more. But at this time, I want my detectives to be focused on investigating this crime and trying to determine what links that there may be.
I just want to be really clear with language. You said they're in custody,
yes.
So there are no suspects in custody, but 2 persons of interest in custody.
That is correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
What sort of business did he have downtown? Was he in either the police department or the PSB?
That would be part of the motive, so we're unable to determine that right now. So that'll be part of our investigation. Absolutely.
How brazen is it? I mean, you're between the Sheriff's Department and the Central Police Department to commit this crime, like literally right in the middle of police.
We know I won't mince words. It is very brazen. It's something that's very concerning to me, and it should be concerning to everyone that someone would do this in daytime in between the Sheriff's Department and the Police Department. But the thing about it is we had officers who work in and out of this building. They're always across the street, going in and out doing paperwork, and because of that, we were able to give aid to the victim. However, he succumbed to those injuries.
Did any of your officers witness the shooting?
No officers witnessed the shooting, but we did have an officer who was just pulling up and saw the victim, and he's the officer who gave aid. I will say that I'm very proud of the Madison Police Department today. Not only do we have 2 persons of interest, as I stated before, in custody, but to encounter this ongoing dangerous situation selflessly, the way that they did. I'm very proud of the way that they operated, and I want our public to know that you have a very good police department. We should be very proud of them.
Chief Barnes, we've seen a number of family members come through here. Have they kind of been involved in helping with this investigation?
Well, yes, obviously the family members are talking to our detectives to determine why the person was here or what may have been going on. But again, it's very early. And the most important thing is that they be comforted in their time of loss.
Location, you said it was very brazen here. Talk about response time. How quickly was aid able to be given and the response in office?
The response time was immediate. The officer had pulled up here to do his normal work and saw the victim on the ground. So the aid was really immediate.
And then right behind, I just want to make sure that's where it happened, where the stuff is on the sidewalk there. That's what we were looking at right outside the jail.
That's correct.
What city was the victim from?
I'm not sure.
It seemed like that the description of the suspects were given out right after you heard a shots fired call. Was that given by the officer that was rendering aid? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I think the officer who was rendering aid was really focused on his first aid training that we give them, and ensuring, number one, that the scene is safe, not only for those people who are still out on the street, but also for him, and being safe enough to give first aid. So I'm not sure where that came from.
How were the persons of interest found? We noticed there was a scene at the Alliant Energy Center. Is that where they were found and taken into custody?
They were on Rimrock near John Nolan. So, all right. Well, I have to get back at it, but
Again, we'll update tomorrow.
but we will again update tomorrow. So thank you so much for coming out.